Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Tor browser. We're going to be going into what exactly it is, how it works, and how to use it. Now, in order to understand the Tor browser, there's something about the internet that we have to cover first. There are basically three sections to the internet. You have the clear web, the deep web, and the dark web. The clear web is pretty much anything that you can access through a search engine like Google or Bing. In total, that only makes up about 4% of everything on the internet. The large majority of content on the internet is the deep web. And this is basically anything that you have to use a password in order to access, or you need a specific link in order to get to it. So whenever you're signing into an account, whether it's your email account or a social media account, that's accessing the deep web. You can't get to that directly through a search engine, but you can if you have the right credentials. And underneath both of those, the clear web and the deep web, you have the dark web. This is a part of the internet that can't be accessed through a search engine, and for the most part can't be accessed through a regular browser. For it, you're gonna need the Tor browser. Now, because of how anonymous you are when you're using the Tor browser and how private these websites are, the Tor browser has gotten a pretty shady reputation. And it's true, there are some pretty sketchy and even illegal things that you can access on the Tor browser, but that's not what this video is about. Because in the right hands, the Tor browser is a legitimate tool in order to access the internet more privately and more securely. In order to get the Tor browser, you just have to go to torproject.org and download it. Once you've installed it and set it up, you'll be looking at something like this, and it pretty much looks like a regular browser, except you're gonna have this connect to Tor button. And when you press connect, this is when you're going to be connecting up to the Tor network. And a few things just happened right there when I press connect. So the Tor client is the Tor browser on my computer. And when you press connect, what's happening is that your internet connection is going through three different nodes. And this is why it has the name the Onion Network, right? Tor stands for the Onion Router. And that's because it's passing you through these different layers, like the layers of an onion. You have the first one, the entry guard. And the reason you have this first one is because it knows your information. It knows, for example, your IP address, right? But it doesn't know where you're going. And the reason for that is because you're going to go over to the middle node. This one, it doesn't know where you came from because all it sees is the information coming from that entry node. It doesn't have direct access to you, and it also doesn't know where you're going because afterwards you go to the exit node. The exit node itself knows your destination and it knows what you're going to get back from the destination, but it doesn't know anything about you as well because any data has to pass through that middle and entry node. So in the end, what we're left with is a system that every website you visit and any information that you get back from those websites has no connection to you directly. They cannot see anything about you, and every one of these individual nodes as well does not have the full picture. The entry guard only knows you, the exit node only knows your destination, the middle relay doesn't really know either one. It doesn't know who you are and it doesn't know the destination. Nothing here has the full picture, and all in all, it creates for a very secure and very private system. Now, there's another layer to this, no pun intended, because we can go into the Tor browser and we can type in google.com, it doesn't really matter what it is, and we can visit regular websites. And like I said, these will be passing through those three layers. When I visit these websites, they will not be able to see. Google has no idea about me. They don't have any of my information. But on top of that, there are also something, you may have seen this, called .onion websites. So if I open up a new tab, I can paste in here the BBC News Onion website. And this is going to be a different address. It'll start with BBC News, and then it's going to have a bunch of characters and numbers, and it's going to end in .onion. And if I visit this, it's going to be the regular BBC News website. What's different here, and the reason why we're using these .onion addresses, is because the browser itself is going to hide me. It's going to make me private and anonymous. Okay, the websites that I'm visiting can still be blocked by the country or any firewall that you're using on your network. But if you're accessing a .onion website, it's going to be pretty much impossible for any network that you're on to block access to this page. So if you find yourself in a heavily censored country where access to certain websites are blocked, you can always check if they have a .onion address, and these are going to be the ones you're going to want to use in order to get around that firewall. One last thing that's worth knowing is how to use a VPN together with Tor. Okay, a VPN is going to be an application you have on your computer, and it is going to encrypt and keep your entire internet connection private. It's not just about the browser, it's about everything you do on the internet. It will hide everything you're doing from your internet service provider, your government, even hackers if you're on an unsecured Wi-Fi network or something like that. And the way that this will fit in with Tor is by activating a VPN and then connecting up to the Tor network. What you're doing is essentially hiding the fact that you're even using the Tor network. There are many places that don't like the Tor network because of a whole of the shady stuff that goes on by people using it the wrong way. Whatever the reason is, if you connect up to the VPN first and then connect to the Tor network, nobody will even know that you're using Tor. The catch here is that because you're going to have all of this encryption, all of this privacy, the VPN is going to be encrypting your connection, Tor is going to be giving you more privacy, all of that tends to slow down your internet speed. So you want to make sure that you're getting a VPN that has the fastest possible speeds, while at the same time offers you a very high level of privacy and security. You don't want to make any compromises there. And I've tested out a bunch of different VPNs. I found that the two best tend to be ExpressVPN. This one right here is my personal favorite. I found it to be extremely fast. And then there's also NordVPN, and with Nord you even have in the specialty servers an onion over VPN feature, which will connect you up to the VPN and then the onion network. It'll do all of that directly in the VPN, and then you can go to any browser. It doesn't really matter which one it is. It can be Chrome, Edge, Safari, it doesn't really matter what, Firefox, and you'll automatically be using the Tor network because you've done all of that connection, the VPN to the Tor network. That's all been done already by Nord. If you want to find out more about these VPNs, I'll have information and also discount links to get you a good price on them in the description below. So that's going to wrap up our discussion about the Tor browser. Hopefully you have a better understanding now of what it is and how it works and the best way to use it. If you have any questions or something wasn't clear, please feel free to leave me a comment and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Have an amazing day, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.